Hello guys, and welcome to another tutorial in our Python for Beginner tutorial series. Today we'll be looking at Lambda functions in Python. So in Python, Lambda functions are also known as anonymous function, and they are expressed in a single line statement. This function can take any number of arguments, but can only have one expression. Lambda functions are often used for short throwaway functions that are not needed elsewhere. And to write a lambda function, you start off with the keyword lambda, followed by your arguments and then your expression. So let's say, for instance, you want a simple function to add up two numbers. What you have to do is to first write the lambda keyword, then followed by the argument that function needs to take. So in this case, we want to add two numbers, so I'll name this argument A and B. So we want to add A and B. You bring colon and now you add the expression. So the expression is what you want to do. So in this case, we just want to add A and B. And just like this, you've gotten yourself a function that can add two numbers. So I'll just assign this to add, a variable called add. And this, now I can go ahead and use this add by providing this argument, and it will add two numbers for me. So I'll call it sum, and this is equal to add, and inside here I'll give it the value for A and B. So I'll say A is equal to 5 or 6, and B here is equal to maybe 8. And when I print sum, this will return my answer for me. So I'll just go ahead and print my sum, and I'll just run this. So this should add 8 and 6 for me, making 14. So you can see we got the answer right here. So this is how easy you can use a lambda function. You can give it any number of arguments. Instead of A and B, you can give A, B, C. So it can take unlimited number of arguments. So basically, I'm writing all this on separate lines, but I can just go ahead and print this on one line so that it doesn't look messy. But because I wanted you to understand, so you can just print everything here on a single line and it still works. So you can see lambda functions simplifies the whole thing for you. So now that you understand how to use lambda function, let's discuss when you need to use lambda functions. So you have to use lambda functions when you need a simple function for a short period and don't want to formally define it using the def keyword, okay, as in writing the normal Python functions. You also need to use lambda functions when working with functions like map, filter, or sorted that takes functions as arguments. So I'll do a dedicated tutorial explaining how to use map, filter, and sorted in Python. So after learning those functions in Python, you will appreciate the lambda function and you will know how important it is and when to properly use it. Let's look at some limitations of these lambda functions. So lambda functions are limited to single line expressions. So as you can see, we just have to write everything on a single line. We can't do this on multiple lines, so they are limited to single line expression. They can make code less readable if you overuse them or use them in complex scenarios. So you have to avoid using lambda functions in complex scenarios or even overusing lambda functions. Conclusion: lambda functions are a powerful feature in Python for creating small anonymous functions. Okay, so use them wisely for cleaner and more expressive code. All right, so guys, if you have any question concerning lambda functions, or if you don't understand, or if you think there is something I need to talk about and I didn't, just leave it in the comment section and I'll make sure I talk about it in my next tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.